Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 1 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Vikings 4-4, 3-1 on the road at the Atlanta Falcons, 4-4, 3-1 at home. We're at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. What a difference a week makes. 2 new quarterbacks under center, we expect. Of course, Arthur Smith has promised us, quote unquote, I promise you, I'll come in on Wednesday and I'll tell you who's starting. Well, we believe it's going to be Heineke, of course, but we won't know for certain until Wednesday. Let's talk about this spot here. We'll start with the line history. Of course, heartbreak for Vikings fans to lose Kirk Cousins for the season with a torn Achilles. Never missed a game because of injury in his 12-year career. Missed one because of positive COVID test, but very durable quarterback. It's too bad to see him go out like this. Pinnacle has Atlanta -4.5. This opened up at 4 and went to 4.5. And just because Josh Dobbs has been traded to the Vikings doesn't necessarily mean for sure he's going to be starting at this point.
I don't think so.
That's important because the first thing that you would think is, oh, God, well, he'll start right away. But so your expectation is Jaren Hall will be under center for this game.
I expect Jaren Hall. I would say 60-40 Jaren Hall.
Crucial stuff here. So Will Hill at 5, a lot of books at 5, Pinnacle at 4.5, and it's barely juiced to Atlanta. From a total scenario here, we are sitting with it at 38 at Pinnacle. It's 37.5 everywhere else. This 38 is really juiced to the under, so it's basically 37.5. It's -119 to the under. From a cash flow standpoint here, we have, here we go. Sorry about, here we go. We have 29% of the tickets and 41% of the cash on the Vikings. I love that about sharps. I love about their expectation of overreaction from the gambling public. It's a fun thing knowing that would be where the sharp money is, regardless of whether the market's moving in that direction. Then we have 88% of tickets and 98% of cash on the under. 88 and 98. Andrew G says Jaren Hall will start, and he's more of a runner. NFL spreadsheet play today is the Vikings at +4.5. And Slatsy says Dobbs not starting, according to Vikings coach, but may be available to play in the game. Important stuff. Rand's looking at the first quarter under. Here we go. Vikings come in off a 24-10 win at Green Bay. Of course, the Cousins situation happened, and it's Jaren Hall. Nick Mullins is on injured reserve, and Sean Mannion's on the practice roster. I mean, I'd take Jaren Hall over Sean Mannion. It's too bad Nick Mullins isn't there because, we've watched him come in for the Niners a few times and play decent. It was such a complete, thorough victory for the Vikings. Back to 4-4. It's just football can be just so cruel to fans. And 5 minutes left in the second quarter of that game. They'd outgained the Packers 182-26, and they were up 13-0 in first downs. KJ Osborne caught 8 passes for 99. Hawkinson 6 for 88 and a touchdown. Addison 7 for 82 and a touchdown. But the running game was once again ineffective. And now nobody's going to be afraid of your passing game. So now you're in huge trouble. Alexander Madison and Cam Akers combined for 25 carries for 50 yards. This running game is going to be worse and worse. The defense looked great. Finished with 4 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. Held the Packers to 1 rushing first down. Medalist had an interception. The defense will be relied upon now in a huge way. Their red zone defense, 21st in the league, allowing touchdowns on 57.1% of their drives. Their third down defense ranked 26th in the league, allowing conversions 43.5% of the time. And they're going to continue to be without Marcus Davenport. He's not expected back till late November, and that's going to put all the pressure on Danielle Hunter. Atlanta comes in off a 28-23 loss at Tennessee. Desmond Ridder, 8 of 12 for 71 yards and lost fumble in the first half. He was terrible. It's too bad because they're back at home where he's looked good at times, but on the road, good God, is he bad. He was evaluated for concussion at halftime. He was cleared, but it wasn't enough for Arthur Smith to watch any more of that. I like Arthur Smith. I think he's a really smart dude. Heineke came in through for 175 yards and a touchdown, drove Atlanta to points on 4 of his first 5 possessions. I know there were so many Atlanta fans waiting for Heineke time. And we'll find out tomorrow if it's Heineke, but we all expect him to be there. Kadero Hodge caught 3 for 75. Drake London 5 for 55, but he hurt his groin during the game. He's listed as day-to-day. And Arthur Smith said on Monday that it wasn't as bad as we thought. That's what he said. So we'll find out more as the week goes on whether or not Drake will be out there. The defense did not look good. They allowed Will Levis in his NFL debut to put up 4 touchdowns and 375 total yards from the Titans, and they lost defensive lineman Grady Jarrett for the season with an ACL tear. That's just a huge loss for this guy who's been there through the thick and thin, through good teams and bad teams for Atlanta. He finally has a really good defense around him, and he's gone now. So you have Albert Huggins, Daquan Graham, Mikael London. It's too bad. They weren't. It's too bad. I really like Jarrett. It's too bad. And the defense has been good this year. 5th in the NFL in red zone, allowing touchdowns just 42.1% of the time. Tied for 3rd in the NFL in third down defense. Young-Ho Koo continues to look really good, hitting clutch field goals. Losing Jarrett is just a colossal loss. Take it away for us here, Troy. Vikings, Falcons in Atlanta.
Yeah, I actually, there's a little discussion going on in the chat about how much Kirk Cousins is worth to the line. I moved it 4 points because of him being out. And I actually think, I'm not sure, would the Falcons be favorites in this game if Kirk was at under center? What do you think, Jimmy?
Yes, I think the Falcons would be slight favorites. Yes, but by the tiniest of, I would imagine it'd be like a -1.
Damn near a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of what I had on the line. So when I actually I bet the money line on this game. I have a Falcons Ravens money line parlay in this game. I mean, we just seen what a backup quarterback Levis was able to do to Atlanta. Can rookie Jaren Hall repeat it? I think it sounds pretty hopeful. And if Josh Dobbs is going to be thrown into the fire, then so be it. I'm not concerned. I mean, he's going to have to learn a whole new language in a matter of days. There's no way I just can't imagine that he starts this game. So I'm really predicating all this that Jaren Hall is a starting quarterback. The loss of Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, is going to be way too much to overcome with a team that cannot run the ball. And I mean, a roster that's under average. Like their roster is not very good offensively. Once you remove JJ and you remove Kirk Cousins, that roster just falls off a cliff. Now Addison has been a pleasant surprise, but he needs a quarterback that's going to be able to deliver him the ball. And if you can't run the ball, which you shouldn't be able to because the Falcons defense has been incredible this year, I think that's going to force Jaren Hall to pass the ball exactly where we want him. And I know the Falcons have been bad, and I've been talking about how they're overpriced and overrated in the market. They still have a better roster from top to bottom without JJ and Kirk. They're still first in their division, contending for the playoffs. They're at home where they've been much better. I like Heineke significantly better than I like Desmond Ridder. They've proven they can stop the run, force Hall to pass. And, if Dobbs is at the helm, if he gets to start on Sunday, maybe I could tease the Vikings back up and have a huge middle because I really think this is going to end a, one possession game. Definitely not over, 10. I can't see anybody winning this game by 10 points. So maybe that's how I'll play it. But for right now, I got the Falcons on a money line parlay at plus 110.
Falcons, and you are tying that with Baltimore?
With Baltimore.
Money line parlay. We will talk more about that here. I need to know. I mean, I'm not going to be able to put a legitimate game script until I find out what Arthur Smith has to say tomorrow. I think we assume that it's going to be Heineke. I think that we've seen enough of Ridder that I wouldn't want to build my team around him. And so we'll see if that is the decision. If they do want to build their team around him, well, then they start him again here at home. But we'll have to see. Sammy Coleman said this is more of who's starting a quarterback for Atlanta than it is who's starting a quarterback for Minnesota. Yeah, I agree. I agree with this. This does not appeal to me at all at this point in any form. So Sky Dragon made it a 3-point adjustment, Cousins to Hall. So at this point, Troy has action here. Falcons, Ravens, moneyline parlay. And I don't want to be involved until we find out what's going on tomorrow at quarterback. So let's roll on.